The most dangerous prison inmates. The world is a very weird place, filled with tons of weird and violent people. There are people who have perpetrated horrible atrocities and killed several people before the authorities caught up with them. Prisons are notorious for being a frightening environment, not just for the inmates' punishment circumstances, but also for the inmates themselves. So today we have gathered a list of the most dangerous prison inmates ever. Let's jump in. 7. BTK. BTK is the nickname of a guy named Dennis Rader, and it is actually short for bind, torture, kill, which already sounds pretty messed up if you ask me. He is considered one of the most diabolical killers American history has ever faced. The reason for that is he used to torture every single victim he attacked and then also did pretty elaborate photo shoots of the scene of the crime. And to top it off, he used to keep all the photographs in a basement of a place he owned. Moreover, it is said that the first victim he attacked, the Otero family, didn't even know how to kill someone. So he basically kept on torturing them until they just went cold. I mean, this is already twisting my gut. BTK was finally tried and sentenced for each killing in 2005, and there is a terrifying video in which he admits to all of his heinous crimes. He is presently being held in solitary prison, awaiting his demise. 6. Richard Ramirez. Richard Ramirez terrorized Los Angeles communities for more than a year in the 1980s. Ramirez, dubbed Night Stalker, would enter into people's homes and violently murder them, sometimes raping them beforehand. His victims ranged in age from early 20s to a 79-year-old lady. Handguns, knives, a tire iron, a machete, and even a hammer were among his preferred weapons. Ramirez never showed regret for his actions. He was sentenced to death but died of cancer before his execution. But during his time in the prison, he didn't stop his demonic acts. However, he did eventually got the justice for it when he got cancer. 5. The Red Ripper. Andrei Romanovich Chikatilo was a well-known serial murderer in the Soviet Union. He was known as the Butcher of Rostov and the Red Ripper because he raped and mutilated over 52 innocent women. According to sources, he confessed to 56 killings and was prosecuted for 53 in 1992, making him one of the most infamous prisoners of all time. 4. Mary Mallon. Best known as Typhoid Mary, she is known to have infected 51 people, 3 of whom died as a result of their diseases. While carrying an exceedingly dangerous bug that causes typhoid fever, Mary continued to work as a domestic helper and cooked for others, infecting many. Back in the hospital, treating a disease like typhoid was exceedingly inefficient. Mallon lived the past 23 years of her life as a virtual prisoner in strict seclusion, allegedly knowing about her sickness before infecting hundreds. It is said that even being a virtual prisoner, she would still try to infect other people with the disease she had because she used to get pleasure out of it somehow. 3. Eileen Wuornos. This woman is the most worst person you can find. She was nothing short of a monster. Between 1989 and 1990, Eileen Wuornos was engaged in the cold-blooded murder of 7 men. She used to accuse the guys she dated of rape and then shoot them at point-blank range. Wuornos was convicted, condemned to death, and executed by lethal injection, according to reports. I mean, this is the worst act one can do to people. She literally used to lure people with love and affection and then straight up kill them like that. 2. John Wayne Gacy. Well, we all know about the famous movie It. It's horrifying and extremely scary to watch. Now what if I told you it's actually based on a real person, and he is John Wayne Gacy? Gacy began his career as a clown, entertaining youngsters and raising funds for charity. Pogo the Clown was his name. But underneath this colorful clown mask lay a ruthless criminal. Gacy was a serial rapist and torturer. He was found guilty of the murders of 33 adolescent boys and young men between January 1972 and late 1978. In late 1994, he was killed by lethal injection. If you ask me, then there's deranged, and then there's the type of deranged that describes the serial killer John Wayne Gacy. A fun fact is that this went to prison 2 times. First time he was released for good behavior, but after coming out he was convicted again because he didn't show any good behavior. 1. The Eyeball Man. Jason Barnum, aka Eyeball Man, was sentenced to 22 years in jail for shooting an Alaska police officer. According to The Independent, Barnum's crimes were motivated by a chronic heroin addiction. His tattoo-covered face made him appear even more threatening. Barnum had totally tattooed one of his eyeballs. Yes, his eyeball. I mean, just look at him. I mean, if this picture doesn't speak out of terror and danger, what does? Anyway, this wraps up our video for today. What do you think is the most gruesome of them all? Let us know in the comments section down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel while you're at it.